morning time, but wherever you are, welcome to Living and Loving Each Day. I'm so happy that you joined us today. And we've got a beautiful woman who's going to be talking to us today about unblocking your block, unlocking your block. And are you ready to break free from the chains of both physical, emotional, and mental pain? We're not just talking about one block. So meet Marion Egan, and she's a seasoned veteran in the realm of holistic well-being. She's had over 30 years of experience in providing transformative solutions to people, and have such the. It's an honor to have her on my show. I really appreciate her very much. She is not your ordinary healer, I have to say. She's a multi-talented powerhouse, I call her. She's an artist who paints from the subconscious. She expresses the depths of emotion that words can't reach. She's an author. She's a course creator and the visionary founder of Heart Art Magic. It's a magical website that serves as the key to unlocking the internal barriers that you might be facing today. So personally, Marian has turned on her own creations countless times and discovering that they are consistently, they alleviate the weight of negativity. That's why we're talking with her today. So, engaging in this practice is not just liberating, it's a journey of joy, and it's a journey of self-discovery, and it taps into creativity that resides in all of us and each of us in such a beautiful way. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please welcome Marion Egan all the way from Ireland.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
A lovely introduction. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and thank you for having me. It's great. It's great.
Oh. Well, this is great because you're on the other side of the world, and you're kind of where my ancestors come from, the O'Phelan clan. I'm a Whalen, my maiden name, and so I just gives me warm fuzzies every time I think about it. I was in County Cork, and I know that you're close to there. Is that right?
No, I'm actually on the east coast. Cork is south, so I'm on the east coast. I'm next door to Dublin, the capital city. So
okay, and I was there too. So my geography is not. I'm not up on my geography. So okay. Welcome, Marian. I want you to just share with the audience, just kind of what you're doing now. Like, what is your biggest thing that you're moving forward with now, and then share a bit about you, and then let's talk about unblocking that, or unblocking the block is a good one too, right?
It is, yeah. Like I mean, so many people. So when you're distressed, or when you have some sort of trauma, or it doesn't even have to be a trauma, it can be something I'll give you a story. Okay, here's a story.
Yes.
Where one morning, this is many years ago, my children were quite small, and I was bringing them to school, and I had to bring them in the car because the school was a good distance away. But Marion wasn't feeling too good that day. I was really feeling a little bit under par, and I was quite sad. But anyway, I got the children in the car and I drive them to school. And when I get to the school, this car is parked on the right, this car is parked on the left, there's nowhere to go. And the traffic stopped. And I just said to myself, okay, I'll let the children out because we're stopped anyway. And I'm at the school. So we jump out of the car, and next thing, the traffic started to move. So the gentleman behind me was beeping his horn. So luckily, I left the door of the car open. So I ran back to the car, jumped in, slammed the door. I was sitting in the back seat. So that will tell you how stress can really disorientate you. So if that wasn't bad enough, I went to get out and then realized the child locks were on. So I couldn't get out. So I had to climb over, and I had these big chunky headrests, so there wasn't much room to climb over. So I climbed over and I got into the seat, and I looked in my mirror, and the chap who would beeped his horn, he was doubled up in laughter.
What a show he just got.
Absolutely. So I had to smile. But on the way home, I was saying, gosh, Marion, how silly can you be, But that just goes to show, when we are so distressed, we cannot see the wood for the trees, And, I mean, but to be honest with you, so I laughed for the rest of the day. So it really changed my state. It really changed my state. But, so anything like a minute thing like that to a major trauma.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, your thoughts emit an electrical energy, right? And your body emits a magnetic energy. So therefore, we have this electromagnetic, which is coming out from us all the time, and that's what we attract. So when you're sending that out into the universe, that's what's coming back to you. So being aware of your state and being able to change your state is hugely important for achieving what you want to achieve. And it's amazing how we can do that just with a little guidance and a little bit of direction. So, and what I find when like stress and trauma like that can create a lot of pain in your body.
Yes.
It really can. And like I say to people, look, your brain is your conductor. Your body is the orchestra. What you think about, you bring about. So of what you think about. So like that day when I was feeling quite under par, feeling down, my state was changed very quickly, obviously after that incident. But that was just it was great. I'll always remember that. It brings a smile to my face. I can still laugh at myself when I think
those things that when you are down anytime you can remember it and it brings you back up to that positive energy. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and there are things that people can do, but sometimes, it's knowing that you can and that you are able. If you can just say to yourself, stop, hold on a second. This is not good for me. This is not making me feel good. So what can I do to make a change? And we do have it within us to make that change, So it's, it's really, really important to, and I think a lot of the time I get people to think about self-care, right? So self-care is hugely important. And it's not being selfish, it's being self-full. Because when your needs are met, then you can meet the needs of other people, So it's a primary thing to look after your needs first, because then you're overflowing, and particularly with liking and loving yourself.
Yes, that's number one.
Number one. Yeah. Took me a long time to realize that, because when you do that, then you overflow, and the overflow then goes to those around you.
It's the abundance, isn't it? It's like that's how we were that's how we were raised, I think, is that we were told, you take care of everybody else and you nurture everybody else, and you're like, they're indirectly telling us you're the last person on the list here. Like you're not that important, everyone else around you is. And then you feel guilty when you actually take a break and just relax.
And it's interesting that you use those words, because when you're kind of emotionally and mentally blocked, you will feel grief, you'll feel shame, you'll feel abandonment, you'll feel all those, negative feelings will come flooding back. And particularly if you've had experience of them in your past, they kind of just emerge again, So healing yourself is really, really...
those triggers can come up anytime.
They can, yeah.
And that's why when it, like you said, when you take that time to be more self-aware, that's the best thing. COVID stopped everything for me. And that's when I was actually stopped the hamster wheel and realizing, wait a minute, why was I doing all those things? And I actually had the moment. It was like I was forced to have the permission to sit down with myself and figure things out and be mindful. And that's when I learned a lot. I took courses that were amazing, the Happy for No Reason courses, and just other Marcy Shimoff and beautiful. I had the time to take an inside look.
I think for the world, COVID was an eye-opener. It was a hugely sad time. And like yourself, like for me, having had my clinical practice here for over 30 years, my practice obviously closed, as did everybody else's. And then my poor 95-year-old mom got sick. She got COVID and pneumonia at the same time. And she was already on oxygen 24/7. And if that wasn't bad enough, then my daughter informed me of her cancer diagnosis. So it was so challenging. And Jenny wanted me to be her mom, not her therapist. But you know what, Sue? From that desperation came the inspiration. And what I did, every week Jenny had chemotherapy, I did healing painting. I did my heart art magic painting, which is painting from the subconscious. And I sent the energy of it to Mom and to Jenny. They both got well.
Yes.
And, it was amazing. And then I got the inspiration to bring those images and create a card deck. And I knew nothing about card decks.
Yes.
But I always follow through on my inspiration. If I'm inspired, I'll follow through on it. I discovered that many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And then I started using these cards on clients. And I'd say, okay, have you got any pain in your body? And when they said yes, I said, well, out of 10, 10 being the worst scenario, where is your pain level? And they'd say 7 or 8. And then I would choose a card or 2 or 3. And we would install the frequency numbers on the cards. And their pain went away. And I'm saying, oh my goodness, that's just, it's so magical, really.
Yes, yes.
So that's what I did, Sue, time and time again. And then I created a course so that people could actually learn how to empower themselves to heal themselves.
Uh-huh.
And my course then I created, and it's now accredited with the International Kinesiology College Personal Development.
Good. Yeah, tell us about that. Yeah.
So it's wonderful. It's really, really wonderful, and it's a simple self-healing tool. And that's what I use now primarily. And I teach online, and, I'm just so grateful. Absolutely so grateful.
So if somebody's interested in your course, then they can go online to find it. And everything will be in the show notes here for everybody. So then just give me a brief outline. What does the course entail? Is it one-on-one or?
The course is, it's done over 2 sessions. It's 2 3-hour sessions. And the reason for that is I teach an aspect of kinesiology. So for people who don't know what kinesiology is, it's your body's ability to give you feedback. It's a biofeedback. And so I teach how to test yourself so that you can test and see, well, which is the best card for me out of this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do that for 3 hours. And then we have a 2 or 3 week break. So that gives people time to get to know the cards, to work on themselves. And then we come back and we do questions and answers and follow through and just make sure everybody knows exactly what to do. And it's just a 6-hour course, really.
Do they do painting? Because I've seen you do some of your painting. Is that what they're doing, or just the cards?
Just the cards, yeah. No, the painting is another, that's my heart art magic workshop where people do paint. Again, I just facilitate, and I do a meditation, get people to really center into themselves, and we set an intention for what they want to see. Because you know what? Your subconscious, what it does is it allows you to see and face what it is you don't want to face sometimes.
That's scary. For some people, it's scary, right?
Well, in some cases, yeah. But in other cases, it's like, oh my goodness, because a couple of paintings that have come up for me, like one would have been Face Your Fear. Okay. And another one, which we're talking about today, was Unlock My Block, which is this painting here, right? Yeah. And so, but if you know what, if I'm unlocking my block, what's that doing? It's freeing me up. If I'm facing my fear, then I no longer have a fear.
Yes.
But with the cards, they're a very gentle, easy way of just balancing out the imbalance in your body.
Okay. So you're acknowledging it and stepping into it, just so that you go through because everything I'm finding in the last 5 years is there's an action. If you're grateful for something, you have to do an action to say something to somebody. Yeah, I appreciate you. Or if you're walking into your fear, like you're talking, then you're actually taking an action to go into it and to sit in it and acknowledge it. This happened, right? Yeah. And then what happens when you're at that place? When you're at the place where you're actually stepping into it and acknowledging it, then what do you do? What do you have a step after that?
Well, the thing about that is, your body then recognizes, I'm actually safe. I'm in a safe place right now. So, okay, when we have had a traumatic experience, and I've had many, but when we've had them, Like if I got somebody to sit down now and close their eyes, and you know the way sometimes here's a tip for everybody listening, okay?
Good. We love tips. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know when something goes wrong or something happens, you kind of go, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Do you know why that is?
No.
Okay. These points here, just above your eyebrows, so they're right above your eyes,
Yeah.
right? And if you put your index finger and your middle finger together and put your two fingers here, right?
Mhm.
And if you close your eyes, and if you go through a process of a stress that you've had, it could have been an argument with somebody, it could have been an accident that you were in, anything that has caused you stress or trauma, and you close your eyes and you play it back like a video, you see what you saw, you hear what you heard, you feel what you felt back then.
Yeah.
And you play the movie in your mind, and you do that from beginning to end, and go back from beginning to end, and go back from beginning to end, and you do that 3 times. As far as your brain is aware, it's actually going through.
It's doing it again. Are you
And again and again, and
Are
then
you
it's realizing,
emotions now, though? Are you getting the same emotions?
yes, but what you're doing is you're releasing the emotions. It's a stress release technique, and you're releasing it. So if you've released it, guess what, Sue?
Oh.
You're not holding it anymore.
Blocking it. You're unblocking it. Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's like, did you ever get a day where you open your cupboard door and you say, okay, I'm going to clean this out today? And then you kind of say, well, I'll put the kettle on first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another day you might come along and you might open the door and you might decide, you know, you're going to blast the kitchen, and your kitchen ends up like a showroom kitchen. There's nothing on the counter and it looks pristine. And you kind of say, why can't every day be like this? You know? So you'll have a day where you will, you know, really thrive, and you'll have another day where you'll just keep faltering and just saying, I'll sit down and have a cup of tea and a biscuit, or, you know. And the reason for that is your brain is either switched on for the action or it's not switched on for the action, right? So when it's switched on, you'll do it swimmingly and you'll do it in no time. And when it's not, it could take you all day. And at the end of the day, you kind of say, well, that was a waste of time anyway, you know. So as I said, conductor, orchestra, you know, so if you have set the intention, do you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And then you sit down and you do this. Now, this is for, say, a project that you want to achieve.
Okay.
So you sit down and you close your eyes and you see yourself achieving it, doing it step by step, going through the motions and doing it and feeling how good it feels to do it. And then you do that 3 times. Mm-hmm. Now you're programming your body to actually get the job done effectively and efficiently.
So you see yourself doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you probably should be seeing it when it looks how you want it to look.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You're going through, like, you know what has to be done. So you're going through and you're doing it, and you're finding a place for everything and everything in its place. And, you know, it'll cut your work time down in no time.
You'll be so efficient because you'll have already a picture of it. You know what you're going to be doing. Yes. Oh, that's.
But I say, you know, action has to follow. There has to be an action in order for you to. Here's one thing I'll leave everybody to think about. You cannot steer a parked car. So, right. It's parked. You're not, if it's not moving, you're not going anywhere. So, exactly. Yeah. So just think about that. You know, what do I want to achieve? And I'm not going to allow myself to stop myself achieving, because this is what I deserve. This is what, you know, I'm worthy of it. So let me do it. Let me be good to myself and be kind to myself.
Exactly. Marian, thank you so much for this. Like, it's been so great just to we've been interacting for a few months now, and I just really appreciate you so much what you're doing. And thank you for being here today. That you're a beautiful guest, and I think you've enlightened us and gave us some really good tips for every time if we see people walking around like this, we'll know what's going on with them. But I think the biggest thing and everybody, thank you so much for being here today, is just take care of yourself. You know, you're loving yourself first. Mask on yourself first before you take care of others. And Marian is such a beautiful angel to share that message to us today. So thank you so much for joining us. Go to Living and Loving Each Day and just leave comments or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. And all Marian's information will be there as well, so that you can contact her. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Marian. Bye.
Bye-bye.